Yet I will be ripped apart before I choose a side. Yet the shadow of glass beneath my feet cuts this godforsaken street. Why can't we make things disappear? Feel the poison from our tears. Oh, crooked crosses pinned on the wall. Slow destruction of our childhood homes. High illusions, they're seen no more, no rocky crosses pinned on the walls. Slow destruction of our childhood homes. High illusions, they're seen no more, no
Yes, people, welcome back to another show. We got another panel show for you tonight, man. Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Make sure you guys smash up the likes. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Where's the fraud, Jay? Jay's on the way back from the game, innit? Jay went to the game, so he's on the way back.
So he saw a Kovacic masterclass and couldn't show his face.
Mad, innit? Yeah, Joel is working in the morning, so he can't do it. And Tarek, he's going to be here, but he's just running a bit late. So, yeah, don't worry about that. A shout out Bevo, shout out Danny, shout out Pulpy as well for joining me. Lads, we're in a final, man. Can you believe that we actually might win a trophy this year? Like, if we win that final, man, that's crazy, like, considering how mad the season is, man. But, Bevo, I'll start with you, mate. Are you there? Oh, you froze? Oh, you froze. I'll come to Pulpy instead. Pulpy,
yeah,
what do you make of today, man?
A couple of things, actually. I thought we're going to have to probably go to lineup, right? I just saw the abuse when the lineup comes out and I go, oh, what's this? Lewis is playing. What's Pep doing? All this sort of the usual stuff. Yeah. Just got to learn just to relax now, lads. You know, you just got to just learn to just see what it's about. He's obviously cooking something. But as far as the game went, Kovacic was man possessed, right? He was meant today.
Oh, man.
One of his best games in the City shirt. That he was everywhere. I've never seen someone close down like that for a long time in this season, at least. Don't know. It just seemed to work. First half, we were dominant.
That's got to be his best performance in his City kit.
It's got to be one of them, right? He was brilliant. He was brilliant today.
Man possessed, yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant today. And then we're at the second half. We rolled our luck a bit, which I think we probably due some. You know, and I fancy the Gibbs White, that was the ones that were missing the sitters, right? But you know, other than that, it was a tough game, man. And earlier on in the season, then games have gone against us because we played well and still lost. So it's nice to get over the line. You know, final. Maybe we can salvage some out of the season, man. But it was a good day, to be fair.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how good Kovacic was, man. Especially first half, like you could tell, couldn't you, that he was like, I'm gonna be that guy today. Like he was wanting to do everything, man, getting stuck in, the drive forward. Do you know what I mean? But no, it's funny you mentioned that about that because I said that to the chat before the game started. I said, listen, do I like the starting 11? I mean, obviously it's not what I would have done, yeah. But I said we all did this before the Villa game. Before the Villa game, the meltdown in the stream before the game was insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like, everyone was going, we're going to get cut, we're going to get cooked. So I was like, and then we ended up winning and we all played all right. So I said, let's just see what happens. If we end up getting cooked today and we lose, fair enough. Everyone can fly off the handle at the end of the game when we've lost and call Pep out and call him a ball fraud or whatever these people say, yeah? But just wait first. Because you don't know necessarily. And then obviously we played and I thought we played quite well personally.
One of my group chats, I'm not in many, I can't be arsed, I've got enough stuff going on to be fair, but the amount of like slander at Rico Lewis starting and pep this, pep that, and in 2 minutes in, man, he's just like, yeah, that's the end of that, isn't it?
Not even 2 minutes.
Apologies
Not even
came.
2 minutes to shut him up, man.
Yeah.
When
I know.
Rico Lewis, when the team isn't in the absolute shit, is a fantastic player. And we've said it on this panel before.
Yeah.
He got put into a functional team and was one of the best players on the pitch.
Facts.
Kovacic, same with him. One of his best performances today. Close control dribbling, spot on, incredible.
Yeah.
Back four, very good. Nico O'Reilly, FA Cup semi-final. Occasion did not get to him. Ruben Diaz, much improved. Guardiola, bullet header, scored on the fucking corner for once. And yeah, just overall controlled the game for about 45 minutes. And by the time the second goal went in, it was too big a gap for them to
You know what? Let's talk about Rico Lewis a little bit more, right? Because we've said this, and I've said this before myself. I said Rico Lewis is a luxury player. Exactly what Danny said. When I think if the team's not playing well, I don't think Rico Lewis is a good player to have in that team. I think he's going to make things worse. Yeah, I'll be real. But when the team's playing, you don't even have to be playing mega. When the team's functioning, which I think is the word Danny used. When you have a functioning team, I think Rico Lewis is a decent player to have in there. And there will be games where maybe he doesn't suit the type of game it is or whatever. But when you go back 3 or 4 months ago and we were shit and Rico Lewis was playing and he was just getting out-muscled and everything was bad, Whereas you put him in a team today when the team's functioning and he's a net positive to the side. He's always running around. He gets the ball. He carries the ball forward and that. For me, I think Rico Lewis played well today, man. Obviously, it was a great strike. And he gives you something. He's always looking to go forward as well. Yeah. He was always looking to go forward.
He's more natural for forward and he's been exposed defensively, which nobody was expecting to be like anything other than like just filling a gap in, man. He's been absolutely levered for having to defend and he's not in. But when we've got players there that can defend and he's not chasing back for 90 minutes like we have been doing, he's a brilliant player. And he'll only get better the more confidence he gets and the more used to he gets to being more physical. Because let's be honest, he's only a small guy, right? So he is better used for forward. And today he was fantastic in them pockets and looking to get the ball working. He's good at us doing little triangles. He's so good at that little triangles, especially in the final third. He was just popping up as like a false nine, one here and there, and just play up really well.
Yeah, no, and on those triangles, I felt like today was the first time in a while where we just toyed with our opponents on the edge of the box.
Yeah,
I mean, we had a midfield full of players excellent with close control: Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, Rico Lewis. We had a lot of possession. We had Marmoush, good dribbler, and there were instances where even times we overcomplicated it. We pulled them this way and that, and it's good to see that again. It wasn't just sideways passing. I mean, it was sideways passing with a purpose.
Yeah, it was.
It was intentional. Every move today was intentional, and I was just very happy to see that.
Yeah, Bevo, what you saying, man? Sorry, bro, you cut out then. As soon as I went to ask you to speak, it literally went at the worst possible time, man.
Yeah, I was going to say, it couldn't have gone at a worst possible time. Yeah, really impressed with today. I think, to be honest, out of all of the performances this season, I'd probably say that was one of our best. I just feel like the way that we set up was perfect. They didn't offer too much, really. They had a couple of moments. Morgan Gibbs-White hit the bar, hit the post. But overall, I just thought the way that we set up was perfect for the opponents that we were playing. Kovacic ran the show in midfield. Thought he was 10 out of 10 today. Thought he was brilliant. And I kind of want to give props as well to Nunes, because since that howler against United, he's really sort of stepped up and taken on that fullback role. I love seeing Guardiola at centre back with Diaz. I think that partnership just works. You've got two absolute units that at centre back. O'Reilly, fantastic since he's come in. I think he's probably one of the players this season that, like how you were saying about Rico, if the team aren't playing well and you stick Rico in, you don't really sort of get the benefit out of him. But I kind of feel like with O'Reilly, I think he's taken the team up a level. And having him at left back, he just doesn't deserve to be dropped. Again, exceptional today.
And then the added bonus on that, sorry, Beverly, the added bonus on that is now you're getting Guardiola at centre back, who looks absolutely incredible, by the way.
Yeah.
Like he just
That
automatically
partnership
now he's our best centre back for me right now.
And obviously, it's easier on Vardiol's legs. He's not bombing up and down the pitch for 90 minutes.
Facts.
that
I'll be honest with you.
partnership you can have for years as well, because Gvardiol's only what, like 22, 23?
Indeed.
Yeah.
There is. I don't know if you noticed. Maybe I just was looking for something to be critical about, but obviously Gvardiol that had that bit of an error, which led to Morgan Gibbs White having an open net and putting it into the post. That was a bit of a bozo. But the start of the second half, that first attack from Elanga, Gvardiol looked over his shoulder and saw the gap was there. And he slowed down and didn't get a real quality centre back. Does not let that ball go across him across the 6-yard box for Elanga to get that first shot on goal. He covers that space. A Van Dijk would cover that front post. Gvardiol didn't, and I think that's where he can improve. If that goes in, we're bad up against it there. But I feel like he's getting better. You know, he was obviously brought in as a centre back, used out wide. Now he's actually getting a run of form at the back with Diaz. There's something there. There is a partnership there. I just feel like there's that little tiny bit he needs to improve on. Because if that had gone in, if that had been 2-1 after 15 seconds, we're up against it there. You know, obviously, and then he's dropped that other bollock as well. He's got it in him. So if you can get those out of the way, we've got one hell of a centre back partnership there for the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good, man. And you know, I mean, if we can go win that FA Cup now, you know what I mean, that'd be a great way to send some of these players off. You know what I mean? Pep speaking about it again before the game about these players. So you keep speaking about it like they're not going to be here next year. So it will be interesting to see how many they get rid of, man. But now, fair play, man. They got the job done. We controlled the game. I think Pep Guardiola, you got to give him a lot of credit. He's coming for a lot of stick this year, Pep. I think rightly so at times during the season, but I think he's been getting stuff spot on recently. Like, and the team's controlling games. We're not open and we're not getting cooked on counter attacks and transition all the time. Of course, you're still going to get done on the counter attack now and again, aren't you? You know what I mean? But things are going in a positive way. 8 games unbeaten now as well. You know what I mean? Which is interesting.
His subs are good, aren't they? His subs have been good at the right time. Today it looked like we were struggling a bit in midfield. He just brought Gundogan and just had a little bit of calmness, a bit more control in possession. And it sort of like helps us towards the finish a bit.
Yeah.
In the past, we've reacted too late and we've lost games because he's not made changes or he's made subs far. You know, that Feyenoord game where we just got rinsed because he didn't change stuff. So his subs have been good. It's so much change there. He's actually being proactive rather than reactive now.
Yeah. Nah, facts. Guys, smash these likes up if you've not done so already, man. And make sure you guys are subbed to the channel as well. The Million says, LB, stop trying to rob River Plate or our players, Bray. Big up though, but bigger off of the youngsters.
Argentinian. Didn't know that.
Yeah, maybe that is ARS must be Argentinian currency, innit? That's what it's doing. Yeah, man. Listen, get me Mastan 12 at City, man. The guy's fucking evil.
That goal today was unbelievable.
Please tell me you've both seen a free kick today.
I saw what you tweeted, yeah.
Oh my god. Thoughts?
30 yards out.
Yeah.
Using the goalkeeper, just unbelievable.
35 million quid, mate. Game at City. Fucking unbelievable, that guy. He's going to be a superstar.
Where do you see him playing then? Where would you see him playing?
Right wing.
Right wing.
Yeah. He's got the creativity and he can hit a fucking ball, mate.
Yeah.
Boy, can he hit
he can hit a fucking ball, mate. That's facts. He can hit a fucking ball. Now he's a baller, man. He's a baller.
Where's he going to end up, though? Serious question. How's he actually going to end up? I know it's a pipe dream to him at City, but where do you think he's destined?
I hope not United.
Unfortunately, United.
Have you seen?
They can't be that stupid.
Have you seen Messi's new boots? He's only given them to like 10 players.
Absolutely ballers, isn't he?
I think one of them was Echeverry. The other one was Ndala. And that I can't say his. I'm not even going to try.
No. There was another City. I'm sure there was 3 City.
Was that Kevin Sullivan?
Kevin Sullivan, yeah.
Kevin Sullivan was the other one.
Sullivan,
yeah. As Ndala, have we still own him or has he been? Is he?
Yeah, he's on loan at Forest.
He's on loan at Forest. He's not had a game.
He's only playing for the 21s, which is a bit sad. I used to love the guy.
Why we loaned him to another Premier League team to play under 21 football?
Makes no sense to me, really. But
anyway, weird.
Would he get games in our under 21s?
Mastan 12 no?
No, the guy you just been talking about at Forest.
Ndala would.
Ndala was on a good trajectory, man.
Yeah,
he might suit there on the 21s better than ours right now, get more game time and stuff. He would probably start for ours, to be fair.
Yeah, weird. But yeah, Matt's on to order, man. Get this guy's fucking unbelievable. Big up to Cats. I don't like that we only talk up players when we win. Even if we lose, doesn't change a player's role in the team. LB gave Bernardo a 6.5 today. What?
Oh, you're going to take that from him?
Well, I think a 6.5 is a fair score for Bernardo Silva.
Fair, yeah. He weren't great. He weren't shit. Just average, right?
It was all right. They put a shift in, kept things moving, kept things ticking. But I don't know. I thought 6.5 is a pretty fair score on Bernardo Silva. I don't know. Bevo, what do you think? Fair score or not?
I think you could probably go up a few, but I'd go like maybe 6.7, 6.8.
So in the same way, I don't know why 6.5.
Yes, I mean, I'm not going to argue over 0.3 of a point, like.
Why, Karl? What are you saying? Are you saying he should be lower than that, or he should be higher than that? That seems. I don't know what's wrong with that. To be honest, I think that's a pretty fair score. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, crazy, man, crazy. But yeah, Nunes, Bevo, you speak about Nunes before. You know, he's a player that when he's confident, he can be a real asset to the team. I've kind of changed my mind a little bit on Nunes. Like, I'm willing to give him a bit more time and see what happens. I don't think he's ever going to get in the team in midfield because he loses the ball too much and Pep are going to play there. But keep him as a squad rotational player. The problem is, though, if he's a squad rotational player, is he going to have the confidence to be, to do what he's doing? I don't know, man. But the credit's got to be given because he's playing well, and when he's going on them runs, he's bursting forward, he's sprinting forward. There was a time today, I said he was a gazelle. He was just sprinting on that right hand side. He was straight down the line. Like he's putting in a real shift and playing really well for me right now. And now, fair play to him as well because he's had a tricky year. He's had a bit of a weird year, to be honest with you, a topsy-turvy year. But credit's got to be given where
he looks good on the ball, doesn't he? He look when he comes forward,
confidence.
You see some players when they've got possession, they look comfortable. Gaza had it. I'm not saying he's any levels like that, but there's certain players that when they get the ball and they're striding with it, it just looks like it's at a perfect distance away from his feet all the time. You know, he's so bangers running the ball, and he's obviously really quick as well. You know, and he can put off, but he's probably got the most assists for us, right? He's up there.
I think he's second. I think
he's up there also. Yeah, he's definitely got an output with the ball, which is good. So I'm with you. I see him as just a perfect utility player. We need them.
The thing I'm most happy about with him is he's become much smarter defensively. He's not diving into challenges anymore. Because I remember the PSG he dove in and just got completely rinsed. He's not fouling a lot of people. I remember we played the last game we lost was against Forest. He kept doing the same foul over and over.
Yeah, and he did that against Lisbon and against United.
Where he goes into the back of someone for no reason.
Yeah, just like proper fucking dumb bozo.
He's looking when he's lost the ball or something and he's made a mistake and tried to get back and just gone to like double
now.
He's more patience defensively, and it's helping so much.
Yeah. No, but like I say, credit's got to be given because criticize them when the crap fares, but then when they're playing well, you got to give. And that's the thing with Kovacic and Rico Lewis today was brilliant as well. But yeah, now fair play to him, man. We obviously got a little bit lucky because they had a couple of shots at the bar, but I felt over the whole game, I felt we deserved to win the game. I thought we was the better side. You know, if you look at their two of the posts, like one of them was like a mad volley on by Gibbs White. One of them was a bozo. But yeah, Gibbs White, lads, a couple of people in the chat before were saying, speak on Gibbs White. Pulpy, I'll come to you because you're his defender. Thoughts on him today?
You know what, right? If he scores that volley, everyone wants to sign him, right? It's one of the things. I thought, he's one of them. He was never going to come out today with. If he comes out and beats us, people are going to give him shit for that. If he comes out and has a stinker, he's going to get shit for that. I thought he played all right. He's one of their better players. Did he look out of position playing for that team against us? No. Did he stand out against us in little bits? Yeah. He was there and thereabouts. If he scores, it's a different story. Can I see him? Is he good on the ball? I think he's great on the ball. And the scenes at the end when you see Pep stare into his eyes and stuff, there's something in that, man. It's like, we know what Pep's like at the end of some games with players where he's like, is it Brian Bertrand or something? And they sort of play, he sees something in them, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he's got something in him, man. I think he's got this next level, and I think that at Forest right now is probably not at our level, but somebody who's 25, 26, eager to go to that next level. He's got good pedigree. He's come from a good academies. He's played in the Premier League. He's done all right. If he's got 5 goals, 7 assists, if you can add an extra 30% to that, so that's 8 goals and 12 assists in our team next year, I think something like that would be absolutely imperative for us to have in midfield because we've got no legs and he's got legs.
Rob, you see the chat?
I know.
The chat. I'm. By the way, I'm not just pulling up all the negative comments. I'm pulling up all the comments.
Player.
If anyone wants to put in a positive comment, I'll put that on the screen as well. I'm just fucking putting up the comments on the screen, man. I can't believe how many people are just saying this shit. It's mad. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is with it, I saw Nico Riley go into the midfield today, like inverted to midfield at one point, and he done like a mad turn and got past the player. And I'm just thinking,
yeah,
like, I don't know, man. Like, is Morgan Gibbs White even better than Nico Riley?
I think he's better, but he's not 100 million better.
I don't even know.
I think it's the price. What just people are mad about the price. If you take the price out of it, could he add something to our squad? Absolutely. You know,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Not
I
for
would
me.
say
I think there's something in it. I just think that them scenes at the end of the pitch I've seen on social media, there's something in that. You know,
but you remember the Nathan Redmond thing in 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't sign him, did we?
No, but I think with this one, there's more legs to it because he's the sort of profile player we usually link with a 25, 26-year-old player who's got 8 years in him. He's got links to Foden, which, you know, you never know, that might be something to get the best out of Foden. You just don't know. Little things like that matter. He's apparently, I don't know if you heard Lescott talking about it before the game, but he's an ultimate professional. Gibbs White. His head's screwed in. He's up for it. You know what I mean? He wants to go to that next level. So if we're looking at getting somebody like that, I always look at Gundogan when we signed Gundogan. He was playing for Borussia Dortmund, right? He came in and nobody was like, fucking hell, Gundogan, what a player's coming. He came in and look at the career he's had. I'm not comparing the two.
No, Gundogan was a solid player, bro.
Yeah, I know. And Gibbs White's playing for a top 4 team in the Premier League.
Yeah, it's not a top 4 team though, is it?
But they might not be long term, but right now they are. They have been one of the best teams
this year. They've never played European football. You know, well, you look at Gundogan, right? When we brought Gundogan in, he had experience playing in Champions League, you know, or European football. He had some experience at international level. You're bringing in a player that's barely had a top 4 race, who has never had any international football at a decent level, has never had any European football. And the thing is, when you bring in these kind of players into the City team, it shit or bust. You know, it's going to go one way or another. It's either going to work or it isn't. And for most players that haven't been in that position, normally it doesn't work for them because coming to the end of a season, it's relentless. You know, it's a different type of mentality, and I just don't know if he's got that.
There are players that have had that. Look, Mahrez and Kante came from Leicester. They were shit. They almost got relegated, and they went on a hell of a run and won the league, and they got.
Mahrez and Kante were never shit.
No, Mahrez had a bit. Mahrez had an outlier. He had international experience, but Kante wasn't a French international at that point.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
There are players that can go up another level. You just sometimes they go right, sometimes you don't. Drink water, stunk the place out. So there's another one that goes both ways. You know, so there are players there. I see qualities in him that something we could use. Is what I'm saying. I think qualities that we miss.
I think the interesting.
Big up Tarek as well, man. Sorry, bro.
What's going on? Apologies for being late. I think the interesting thing is that I think regardless of how you felt about Morgan Gibbs White, you could come out of this match having your opinion strengthened. Because if you think he's poor, then you're going to say, well, he missed an open goal or he missed this, he missed that, right? You're going to say that. If you think he's good, you're going to say he got into those opportunities. It just hit the post. You know, you're unlucky, whatever. And I think there's something to be said for both sides of that. The interesting thing for me is just that, and I think Pulpy already said it, if he wasn't, if the $100 million pound price tag wasn't associated with him, maybe people would feel differently. But because of that amount, and we've kind of swung and missed with the Calvin Phillips of the world or whatever, I think there's a little bit of hesitancy. But I think he played really well today. And quite honestly, I think we were a little bit lucky in we got let off the hook a little bit. So do I want him necessarily? No. But do I think he would be a bad pickup? No, not at all.
That's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, that's a good point though about how both sides. I can strengthen their argument today because that is legit. Like the people who don't want him will say he missed an open net, he's shit.
Yeah.
And then people who want him will be like, he played.
Well, if he'd have scored them 2 goals, if he'd scored that tap in, and he
then
scored
we'd
that
all be
worldie,
we'd all be screaming for him to come
you
in.
still have people saying, well, he's full fucking shit. You know what I mean? He never win them all.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I still think that like I'm not against it, but I'm just cautious about it because like I see the potential in him. I do. I see the potential. You know what I mean? Like, look at his volley on that effort. He's clearly he's got good tech in it. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I'm still like, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be decent. But yeah,
if you think about it, right? If Gundogan's just signed a contract because he's managed to get an extension, right? So there you go. If we weren't signing Gundogan for another year and he was getting Morgan Gibbs White, I don't think there'd be anybody going on about that. However, if Gundogan's there for a year, it takes Morgan Gibbs White a year to bed into a new system and learn how he play, and in a year's time is the perfect replacement. You know, you've got to factor in that he might not start straight away. He's a project for the future. If he gets used to the way Pep plays and things, and he'll fly. Most players do. You know, there's not been many that have come to the club and have played under Pep for a year and have gone backwards. There hasn't. He improves everybody. So if he gets an extra 10% out of Morgan Gibbs White and he fits into our team and he starts 40 games a season and sub for the other 30, then you can argue, man. The price eventually, if he stays for 8 years and it's 80 million, it's 10 million a year. You don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah, good
it's
value.
not pays for itself. If he plays in a team that for the next 6 years wins 3 league titles and 3 FA Cups in the Champions League, then you're not going to say he's not been worth the money. So he's got to see a long-term investment.
No, big up, man. Let me.
Sorry, I can see him as a squad player, but would I want him to be in the midfield against PSG, Barcelona, Real Madrid? I think the answer is probably no. I think there are better options that are cheaper that we could get. But again, if the club want to go and buy him, I'm I'll back the club and back their decision. I won't be happy about it, but
Sammy, let me bring you in, bro. Let me get your sort of summary from today in it. What you're saying, man.
I mean, I kind of said it. It was, the game looked different first half from second half. It was just like a completely different game. One was much more methodical, slow. The other one was back and forth. But I think overall, I would say I think we've done enough. We deserve the win. At the same hand, I have to acknowledge the fact that we got let off the hook, right? And there were moments where they were on top, and thankfully, not every time there was a point in time when we were giving up a goal every shot, but thankfully that didn't happen today. You know, sometimes you make your own luck, sometimes you just get luck. However you want to look at it, we got lucky today, but I think overall we deserve the win. The team played well. Going in, I saw the lineup come out, and I knew going into it, I'm going to expect what we've been seeing, and I'm just going to be okay with that. Yeah. It was a slightly changed lineup, but I was just like, it is what it is. Pep he's earned the I won't say trust. I guess you want to say it that way. We should just trust him because at the end of the day, he's proven that he knows what he's doing. So I stopped. I kind of got off my high horse and said, you know what, I'm just going to accept whatever it is, take it for what it is, and hope that they go out and play well. They did today. So we're on to a final.
I've kind of stopped down the lineups at this point. He only changed a few things from Wednesday, and we were decent on Wednesday or Tuesday. And
I think
now we've won 6 and 7 or 7 and 8.
Yeah.
It's like this team isn't the same team as it was 3 months ago. I think some people are still in that mindset. Yeah. These aren't the same these players aren't the same versions of how they were back then. This isn't December Kovacic. This isn't December Gundogan. These players are building their credit back. I'm not saying they shouldn't go at the end of the season, but
right.
The confidence is certainly back, and then that's how I'm going into games nowadays.
I think the Rico call was big. That was a big call. You probably already talked about it, but that was a really big call because Rico hasn't played a lot of minutes recently. So you're trusting him to come in a semifinal. And I think to a certain extent, Pep has used this competition to give minutes to people that maybe don't typically get minutes through the regular season. So I was glad to see that he got some minutes, but it was a big call, and he proved Pep right.
Why do you think he started today over like KDB?
Well, I guess you could say over KDB. You could also say over Nico, but I don't know what Pep, maybe what he saw in training or something, because like I said, that's a really big call, and it takes some cojones to make that call. Because if it goes bad, but again, he's Pep, he doesn't care. But if it goes bad, people like us, we're gonna sit here, we're gonna lose it on this panel show, and the chat's gonna be going crazy because it's like, why did you pick a kid that hasn't been playing? No disrespect to Rico, he just hasn't been playing. If you haven't trusted him to play all this time, why play him in the semifinal with a chance for a trophy in this season of all seasons? There's still a chance for a trophy. Why would you trust him? But Pep put his confidence in the kid, and the kid came up aces. So, good to him.
Yeah, I don't know why he played Rico.
It's like I said, it's great.
Right. What did he see in the preparation for this game that went, you know what, I'm going to play Rico Lewis? Like, it's an interesting
and play him
one,
in
man.
midfield, play him in that
play him
role,
in,
not even like a inverted right back.
He played everywhere, didn't he? He played a bit defensively, but he was also centre mid. He was also like inverted false nine at some point. He was all over the place, wasn't he? I think he was doing more positional play, the hard yards, than what De Bruyne would have done, or Gundogan, in that he had more legs. He was more active in that.
Covered a lot of ground,
Yeah, he was more. I think he just put him in to say, look, I want you to play here, 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 and here. Whereas De Bruyne's like, you just play there and you let him do what he wants. Or Gundogan's not necessarily as agile and mobile, and we've not seen much of Nico Gonzalez up the pitch further. So maybe it's a case of I just trust that Lewis could come in and just get around and be a little busybody in those areas and trust him not to give the ball away. And we've all seen in like the last 18 months, Rico Lewis likes to get forward. He's not necessarily had any output, but he likes to get forward. And I was shocked when that went in today. But you know what I mean? He gets in those positions a lot, to be fair.
He does. Yeah. He does get into decent positions, and usually he doesn't score them. But if he can add those goals to his game, chip in, with some goals throughout the season, then that'd be great, man. But I'm with Tarek, man, and that's what I said before the watch along today. It's just like I've sort of just look at the lineup. I'll say what I don't like about the lineup. I'll say I don't like this, I don't like that, I like this, I like that. But at the same time, then I'll go, but it doesn't really matter, because before the Villa game, everyone was roasting that starting 11 and it won.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I mean, it's just sort of like we'll see the starting 11, we'll go, why the fuck's he doing this? Why the fuck's he doing that? Then we'll win, and then we'll go, oh yeah, fair. So I've sort of stopped like deep in the lineup that much now.
How many times have we seen Nunez start right back in the last 3 months, and earlier on, you've seen, right, you're like, for fuck's sake, Rico's playing, Nunez is playing it right back. Oh, here we go again. And now look at it now. He's arguably in a solid back four now. You wouldn't want to take him out for anybody. So give him a chance.
Yeah. Does anyone else feel like a sigh of relief that like this team is not like utter shit anymore? Because like I'm watching matches now, and I'm like, oh my God, we're controlling the game. We lose the ball, and we don't look like a panic stations. Like we used to lose the ball, and it would just be like horrendous. You know what I mean? They look like they're going to score. Like I'm watching us dominate the ball. I'm watching us play. I'm like, oh my God, this is like the City. And all the stats back this up, by the way. We're second in the league table in 2025. Like we are watching a team now that I'm like, I feel like this is the old City, man. Like, obviously still nowhere near as good. Like, there's still things that we need to improve on. Roger coming back in, we need a new creator, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But like, I'm watching the team, and I'm like, it feels good to watch a team that controls the game, controls the ball. When we lose the ball, we don't look, sixes and sevens. And I'm just like, it just feels good. And it feels like, I definitely feel like a weight's off my shoulders, because I'm like, when I used to watch City like 3-4 months ago, it was grim. It was grim. Like, it was a chore, man. Every time like we'd lose the ball, it was hanging, and it's just it's just good to watch.
We're seeing games out so nicely as well. We're not getting overrun. That Everton game last week, I don't think City 3 months ago hold on. I think they score 1-0 and they concede right after. We're managing the game so well now. We could have fallen apart after Alanga missed. We could have just kept allowing chance after chance after chance. And we
Do you know
actually
what it is?
gone the other way. And I was just very
Do you-
happy about it.
Do you know what it is? Pep's back with a master tactician again. You know, she was watching the Spurs 4-0. She was watching the Arsenal 5-1, and she just looked at that and she was like, "I've had enough of this." Got Pep on the blower, and then since then it's fixed.
What do we generally think is the one major factor in our form then to what it is now?
I think there's a lot.
What's the fundamental
factor
change
in.
in now?
I think injuries has been a big one, and now we've got a steady Kevin De Bruyne that's playing, back fit again, and again, going through a breakup. It's got after 30 years of being with somebody, it's got to be tough. It's going to be tough on anybody, and the fact that he's also got the added pressure of managing probably one of the biggest clubs in the world. It's all things that's going to be added stress. And, you've got Foden that's not been firing for medical reasons and whatnot. And I just feel like now that we're getting towards the end of the season, obviously Pep's managed to sort out, allegedly managed to sort out the issue with the wife, obviously back happy again. So that's going to take a load off his mind. You've also got players coming back into the team, Oscar Bob. You've also got Rodri in and around the training ground now a lot more than what he has been. And that's going to have a contributing factor to I mean, the guy's a mentality monster. Having someone like that on the training pitch with you, it's naturally just going to improve everybody's sort of mentality going forward anyway.
I think the defense has a large part to play with it, man. Like we've finally got a stable back four. Yeah, we've got two centre backs which are doing the job. And I know people speak about Diaz or whatever. Like
bringing O'Reilly into the team.
Yeah, O'Reilly,
that was big.
O'Reilly's a massive plus. Nunes is starting to play like with confidence, and he's a competent. So you've gone from a back four where the right back was either Rico Lewis and Nunes, who both weren't playing well. You had a centre backs who were just constantly changing, and it was usually Ake, Akanji, Diaz played a little bit, and they were all getting injuries. None of them were fit. They were all making bozo errors. And then left back of Gvardiol, who was just basically holding it down on his own. You've now got a back four where Nunes is now playing good. You've got a back two of Diaz and Gvardiol, which is pretty solid, and you've got O'Reilly. Remember, we used to say, didn't we? We used to say to win a game, we used to have to score 4 goals. Now I'm saying score 2 goals and you win the match.
Done.
Yeah.
Score 2 goals and you win the game.
This is going to sound really simplistic. I think the international break fixed us up. Can you imagine? We were on and off from December to the international break. And I think when you're in inconsistent form, you sometimes get tired of being with the same people every day. They got a chance to go to their national teams, clear their heads and whatnot. They came back. Now they're fit and firing. I don't know if there's anything to that. I think there's a psychological thing to it. Not sure.
I think the other thing too is I was just say I think the other thing too is we brought in the reinforcements in the January window, and even if those players aren't playing every moment of every game, it says to everyone else, you don't have a long leash. You have to perform. We always talk about competition for places, right? And there was a point in time where you just didn't have any healthy bodies. You just knew who was going to roll out there, and it didn't matter. Pep was going to say to play the same players. Part of that is just his lack of trust for those young kids. But when you bring in these new players and they start to perform, everybody has to step up. If I want to get on the pitch as a defender, I got to play, because otherwise there's a Kuzanov out here waiting to come in and play. If I want to, as a winger or as an attacker, there's a Marmouche out there. As a midfielder, there's a Nico Gonzalez. So everybody has to step up and perform. And those players that were down, they just came just slight level above, and now we're back to what we could have been. My only concern is that we don't get so caught up in what we're seeing in this moment that we forget what we've saw the rest of the season and don't still be ruthless. Ruthless may be a little touch too hard, but still be decisive in the off season, right? We got to go make changes. We have to get rid of some people. We have to bring some new people in.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've gone on a little bit of a winning run, and I pray it continues, but that doesn't change what we have to do in the off season.
I agree, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't think the club are gonna see us going on an 8-match unbeaten streak and then just forget that they won 1 game in 14. Nah, I think the club are still going to be ruthless.
They're not that fun. Yeah.
Maybe they'll keep like a couple of them as like rotators, but I still think we're going to get rid of 5, maybe 6 players, and we'll get 5 or 6 in. It has to happen. It does.
I just want to bring up a point that Tarek made as well about not trusting the youngsters. I kind of feel like since sort of December, January, I kind of feel like Pep has had a bit of a mindset change, because coming towards the end of the season, whenever would you have seen McAtee starting against Aston Villa? You just never would have seen it. He'd have played someone else there. He'd have put Kev at false 9, or played Phil Foden at false 9. The fact that he's given McAtee the chance against Villa, and he performed well, bringing in Nico O'Reilly, you would have never have seen Pep do that. He would have much rather played Bernardo Silva at left back than bringing in Nico O'Reilly. So I also feel like since sort of December, January, I think Pep's had a little bit of a change of heart and said, okay, well, if these kids are performing, then they're performing. I'm going to play them.
No, and
I think that coincides with. I think it coincides with, like, to what Tarek said, having players. All we had was players. We didn't have any players in form. They were injured. It's just we were basically getting 11 out. And if they were fit enough to play, they were playing. It weren't about form. It doesn't matter how well you played. If you were playing shit, you were still playing. We got to January where we got some players in and we started to pick a bit of form. And then Pep was able to choose players in positions that he was getting the best out of them for the team. And I think that coincides with, like, I don't think he wanted to throw the kids in, not because he doesn't trust them, because he wouldn't be around the team if he didn't. It's more the fact that it could be detrimental for them to play in a team when they're going to be worse than what we're putting out there. Nothing about ability, purely for the fact that we're throwing young kids into the Lions here. So I think Pep prefers to play the kids in setups where they know they're going to get the best out of them and they're able to flourish more. Like O'Reilly's playing a solid back four now, whereas previously he'd have been playing in midfield and we're just getting run through and he can't do it on his own. And I think the detrimental effects of having like McAtee playing the game where he's going to have 2 touches of the ball because we're shit. And Rico Lewis is an example where he got absolutely butchered all season because he played out of form. I think kind of not putting O'Reilly in midfield and letting him get his sort of like his feet on the ground in the squad and being around the play and stuff out of position, but in a settled team is more positive than just throwing him in at the deep end, because I think that would have ruined him, a lot of them. We don't want him to sink or swim. We want him to be able to float and do well, and flourish. And that's kind of how we've got the best out of our youngsters over the last 5-6 years anyway.
No, and the thing is, if you give these players a chance and they play well, your squad inherently becomes bigger. Now O'Reilly's a solid option. McAtee's a viable option. I'm not saying the squad's where it needs to be, but it's not like in December, in January, Pep wasn't giving these players chances. And that's why the whole thing of we only have 15 players to choose from came up. Because we brought in 4 players, right? But, Kusanov's not really playing that much anymore. Vitor Reis is not playing much. So our squad's only gone up by 1 or 2, but it feels like it's become significantly bigger because McAtee and O'Reilly have actually taken their chances and just taken everything in stride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's
the point I was just making was year on year, like coming into the end of the season, you'd have never have seen Pep stick McAtee on against Villa for such an important game, because Villa was probably one of our biggest games this season. That was what was probably going to solidify the top 5.
Yeah.
And to basically see that lineup before the game and see that McAtee's playing, that was massive, I feel. It must be a real confidence boost for him as well.
Yeah, I think as well, because Pep spoke about this, Beverly. He said it after the game today. He talked about these young players and that. And he said he should have put them back. He should have put them in the team back in October. But I think that it probably took Pep. Pep obviously kept on trusting the old players, kept on trusting them. I think it got to a point where he probably just was like, yo, these guys are not them anymore. And like McAtee is probably like at the same level, if not better than you as well. So like now they started playing him and McAtee's done all right, whatever. Nick O'Reilly's done great, and now he's just sticking with him, man. But I don't know, man.
Well,
Like,
on the old players, like
Yeah.
Kovacic and Gundogan, if they'd have played like they are now 6 months ago, they would have won. You know what I mean? It'd been a very, very different story. They're in form now, whereas back then they were just stinking the place out. You know,
Yeah.
so there's a very. You can see why he was relying on him because this is what he wanted out of them. He just couldn't get it, and it weren't necessarily on Pep. It weren't in the play. He just weren't getting out of them what we're getting now. If that makes sense.
The other thing about Kovacic today was the progressive passing. You know, when you look at like Bernardo Silva and you see like sideways passes, backwards passes, what I saw from Kovacic today was he was looking for that ball through, and there was a couple of balls that he played through, and I was just like, wow, like it's almost like very Kevin De Bruyne-esque the way that he saw some of those passes, and I just thought you're just taking on that role, just just go and do it.
There's something about Kovacic, man. His ball control and his most of the time, he's had a few stinkers obviously in there, but his ball control and driving with a ball in 5-6 yard things. I don't think there's anybody better in world football than that. He's just so good.
That initial like burst and
10 yards, 5-10 yards, bosh it away, and
he like floats, doesn't he, past players? Like it's so mad.
With the ball, and there's no one better. I'd have loved him. I'd have loved just to have had him 5 years ago, man. It pissed me off. He would have been.
I know.
For us, he would have been he would have had just as impact as any one of his midfielders we've signed, like Rodri and Gundo. It'd have been up there with them. He is a winner.
Kovacic will never have a quiet game. When he's good, he's amazing. When he's bad, you can tell he's bad. When he's bad, he's very bad. But today, turned it on. Them little bursts, receiving the ball, splitting midfielders on the dribble. It just opens up space. And we have players who are very good in these tight spaces. That's what the whole midfield is about today. So
and he does fire the ball into the attackers as well, which I like. But he plays forward passes, man. He was good.
You tell me, is anybody like him in the Premier League? There's not as a. I don't see. It's like a unicorn. There's not many like him in world football that do what he does in 5 yards. There isn't, and he never really did that at Real Madrid. He was kind of did it a bit at Chelsea, but like for us, I just think he's Pep's perfect kind of player, man. I reckon if Pep was to write his autobiography in 20 years, I wouldn't be surprised if he talks about players that he wished he'd had all their career. You know, like the ones that he's had, like Busquets and stuff. I think Kovacic would have been one that he would have took everywhere if he could.
Yeah. No, it's
what over Iniesta and Xavi? Come on.
Not talking about his starting 11. He would have been one of those players that he's his guy. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
Like we all know Bernardo is.
Maybe we are glazing a bit. I don't know. It was good, man. All right, boys. Anything else you guys wanted to bring up about? In fact, let me do super chat first. Big up Sanko says Belabor is a must. Plays everywhere. Did you see? Yeah, did you see that post that he put up?
No,
I've not seen it.
It's something about company.
And the caption was, "I felt like company in 2019" or something like that. Yeah. He's kind of twerking for us a bit there.
Yeah, he's twerking in it, but I don't think we're gonna get him. He's got a lot of money in it. A lot of money. Oh yeah, he said feel like company in 19.
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, big up Sanko, bro. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get him, mate. I don't think we're gonna get him. Anything else from you lads? From today's game or just anything in general?
Out of the teams that we could have got in the final, I'd probably say I'm happier playing Palace than I would have been Villa.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Their manager, last time we played him, was like, if we see you again, I got something for you. He seems confident. He seems confident. He was like, we'll figure it out. So we'll see.
Yeah. Nah, listen, Palace were a good team, man. But I don't know. I think when you've got to look at Villa, it's no disrespect to Palace, man, but like they've got a few more individual players that are good. But you look at Eze, mate. Like that was a fucking good goal yesterday, wasn't it? That was nice. And they were a well-drilled side, and apparently Adam Wharton was class yesterday. I didn't see it, but apparently he was world class. So we'll see, man. But yeah, we got to be winning this, man. We got to be beating Palace, mate. But they are a good side, so you got to give them respect. We can't be turning up like we did it against Wigan. You know what I mean? Like we got to be turning up here.
The thing is,
And
if
Villa.
they've got Villa might have been chasing a top 5 spot, whereas Palace have got fuck all to play for apart from this now. They're going to be dangerous for this final.
No, but they would go all in for a cup final. though.
But no, but if it's different, you would have the mentality is a bit different. If you're in FA Cup final, you can swallow the getting beaten that, but know that you've got to win on Saturday to get in the Champions League. It's very different than Palace, who have just literally going to be up for this. They've only been in 3 finals in their whole life, right? I think. So you said they'll be before 3 finals in a whole life.
3
never won a
finals, I
trophy,
think.
so-
Yeah, I said over on Not in My Lifetime that I thought we'd win today just because I thought it would be too big of an occasion for Forest.
Mhm.
And for the first, I'd probably say, 30, 40 minutes, that looked like it was the case. And I kind of feel like going into the final, it's probably going to be the same for Palace. You know, they're going to see that as we're in an FA Cup final. And I don't know whether that occasion's probably going to be a bit too big for them.
And we've already faced them recently as well.
Compared to like City, who have, you know, a couple of years ago done the treble, and a lot of the players are still there. You know, that occasion too. You know, we've been in the final of the FA Cup for the last 3 years. You know, that's it's an occasion which we've been in. So
Yeah, but
I just feel like with Palace,
You have Wigan. Wigan have done it. You had, I think Birmingham City won it in like 2012, League Cup against Arsenal. I don't know. There's examples of it not being too big an occasion, which is why we should still be worried. But again, I think we will have too much for them.
If we play like we did today, we'll win. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah,
if you look at their best chances, right? The only one really that they created was the Elanga one in terms of like actual, like legit, like the Morgan Gibbs White volley that's just a fucking mad strike.
But then again, the Alanga one was pretty much identical to the Eze goal he scored against us a couple of weeks ago. They got in down the flank and they just squared it across. So
I don't know.
One more funny story. Have you seen? I think he's an Everton fan called Lee on X. His mate bought 10,000 blue flares and took all the stickers off and changed them to red. And you had like loads of blue flares going off at Anfield today. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I seen that. That's right. Yeah, that's just like such like a petty thing to do, man. Yeah, it shit tells you, man. That is crazy.
Can we talk about Al Jacobs' Twitter account got hacked today? And I was putting like praise.
What?
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
He put out some mad praise today, Jacob, out of nowhere. I'll read it to you, what he said.
Go on, read it.
Hashtag.
Ruben, Rico, and Matteo, you earn my respect. Unreal performance. And I just put, is your account hack, mate? I don't hide from giving players praise when they deserve it. Fully deserved. Just call him anti-glaze, man. But yeah, after last show, he was rinsing Diaz. He's consistently rinsed Rico Lewis, and he has been the driver of the hate train for Kovacic for a long time.
Yeah, I know. He commented on my post, didn't he, when I tweeted about Kovacic. Yeah. You know what I mean? About and he said he was the worst one out of the 3. And Kovacic, he's just been playing great recently. He's been playing absolutely insane. So yeah, now he'll have to get on the stream this week. He's got questions that need answering, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Even Joe was calling him out like, is this Joe? Is it a clean sheet for Diaz? Is that class as a good performance or all that sort of stuff?
Joe can't talk. He's been gassing up Doku recently.
Yeah. No, I thought Diaz was pretty solid today, man. You know what I mean? He was solid, man. And actually, I won't be changing that back 4, mate. There's just no point. There's no point in changing that back 4 at all. Like,
unless his injuries now, and that'll be the same back 4.
Yeah, unless his injuries. Like, what's the fucking point? Just keep that back 4. Just keep it going now to the end of the season. I want to win this season strongly, man. I know the league's fucked in. Nothing going on now with the league and that, and we pretty much got top 5 unless we bowls away. But I want to win all the games, man. I want to win our next 5 games, innit? 4 Prem, 1 FA Cup final. Let's win them all. That with 13 games unbeaten. Yeah. And I think then, like, we can obviously go Club World Cup, hopefully sign a couple of players before the Club World Cup. Yeah. And then go win that. Get 120 million, send it Leverkusen, get Wirtz, sign a few more players, and go again.
If we're doing our next 5 games, considering what was before Christmas, after Christmas is title winning form, man. And I would never have thought we'd have been talking about that.
Yeah, which is why
where we were to what we've done.
Yeah, no.
Which should put the rest of the league on notice because it's not a. This is not a.
Facts.
we're down and we're going to be down for 3, 4, 5 years. This is get your lumps in now. Get Liverpool. Go ahead and get your title this time, because it's going to be another 3, 4 years before you win it again. So
yeah, big up Walter, who says, LB, touch on Grealish and Savio. Ask the lads what they think. What do you think, lads?
Savino were poor today, to be fair. He was just a bit off it. And I thought Grealish just came in, did a job, and we'll probably never see him again. Just there's not much real to say. And I thought he played all right, but I just don't think we're going to see him now towards the end of the season. That's it.
I think he'll play against Southampton, and that'll be his last game. I think he'll start, because the only Premier League game Grealish has started in the last 17 was Leicester. I think Grealish starts against Southampton. I think that'll be his last. I think that'll be his last ever start for Manchester City. That's my prediction.
Until Grealish booted Morgan Gibbs-White in the head, I forgot he was even on the pitch.
I thought he just all right.
He did what he was asked to do, just keep possession, right?
Yeah.
He just kept possession, kept it ticking over, put a shift in. 6 out of 10. That's what I give him on the match rating. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about Grealish, man. Like, I can't lie. I'm gutted, man, the way it's turned out, because I was buzzing when we were signing him from Villa. I was like, get him. I wanted him really bad, and I don't know, man. Obviously, like, he had the treble year, which he was good, and people do downplay his involvement in that year. He's our 5th most played player that season in the treble year. You know what I mean? And he did play well. And yeah, he wasn't the best player, but no one said he was the best player. But he was a solid part of that team, and people underdo it. But yeah, then obviously last year, injuries. This year, injuries. Not been playing for whatever reason. So
it's an easy target, man. It's an easy target. He gets shit from away fans for nothing, and he's been an easy target for City because of the price tag. If it cost 30 million quid, nobody would say anything. It's just the money, man. For some reason, the money plays on people's minds like it's personal.
Well, the money should play on people's minds.
It shouldn't be the ultimate stick to beat someone with, but also it should be like, well, you need your value for your money as well.
Yeah.
But the fact that this last 18 months he's not giving us value for money, you're just writing off everything he's done before. I don't think that's fair, because he's been integral in an amazing, our greatest ever era, I guess.
I agree.
Yeah.
The price tag makes me concerned about the Gibbs-White situation, because again, it's just another. Here we go again. We just saw how that worked for Grealish, or in this case, didn't work for Grealish, and I don't know if he's a bigger personality or mentality that he can handle that. Gibbs-White, I don't know. But I just think any player with that kind of thrown around their neck is gonna have it tough.
Well, here's the thing, right? This is a quick hypothetical question. If 4 years ago you just said to you, we're going to sign Grealish, and he's not going to have the greatest of times here, but you'll get a treble out of it and Champions League, you'd have bit the hand off, man.
Well, yeah, of course.
And the same way now, if we sign Gibbs-White for 80 million and he doesn't set the world on fire, and he has 3 good seasons out of 5. But we win a treble again, I'd be taking it right away. So you just got to take it on the chin and say, we're not going to get them all right. And some players probably won't live up to the potential, whereas we've had players that have come in that have gone beyond the potential and more and more and more. So, it's got to put it in where it is in the factor of what things work. Sometimes they don't, and just accept it that we'll get some right and we'll get some wrong. But eventually, the more you get right, which we do, leads to titles and trebles and 4 in a row and 4 trophies in a season, 100 points, and all that sort of stuff. It just leads to that, and we need those players.
So here's a question for you then. So Grealish is leaving at the end of the season. I think we all probably agree with that. That leaves you with 3 wingers, 4 if you include Mamouche, 5 if you include Foden, right? But in terms of out-and-out wingers, you got 3. Savio, Doku, Bob. Where are we at with that? Are you guys happy with that as our winger selection?
Did you mean why you must have Bernardo Silva at me?
Well, come on, man. What we're doing?
Don't do it.
Obviously, you do have Mamouche and Foden. Are you guys happy with that? As that, I put Foden and Mamouche in the winger category because they do sometimes play in that sort of like winger invert into midfield situation, which is a tactical setup. So we will include that. Yeah. Are you guys happy with that, or do you think we need another one?
I think we need another one because I see Doku moving forward as an impact player. I think he's a kind of player that you'll bring on 60 minutes into the game when you've got tired, the right back's got tired legs, and then you see in the fact that they're bringing Doku on. I just think that's where his kind of role in the team's going to come. I think perhaps kind of shown that over towards the end of the season that he is very much an impact player, and I think he's always been better coming off the bench for the last 30 minutes than he has when he started a game. So for me, if you're taking into account Doku as an impact player, like I don't think that the two wingers that we've got are, I think we need at least one more.
I want one, man. I want another winger, man.
For me, right. So those three you've mentioned there, Bob, Savinho, and Doku, they're wide. We also sometimes play with attacking midfielders who go out wide. Bernardo, Grealish has been out wide. You know what I mean? We've had Foden out there. He's not necessarily going to he comes inside. So in reality, we've got a set of three and a set of three. I think if Grealish is going, we get another Grealish type player who's a ball carrier and a holder of the ball. And I think Gibb White maybe fits that, who can slide into that role. So I feel like he won't. I don't think we'll go out and get an out-and-out pace merchant on the wing. I just don't think we've got the room for it in the squad. I don't think there's enough room to have two flying wingers and then potentially three floating tens or whatever they're going to be.
By the way, look at that.
That's what I was looking at, man. That's the eyes, bro.
I know.
Bro, Pep, you cannot play poker, mate. Yeah, I'm telling you now. He's a Manchester City player next season.
Imagine the dressing room with Rodri next season. Rodri's only a red card to come through this guy.
I know, yeah.
And it wasn't just like
that'd be banter for the dressing room, that wouldn't it? That'll just be.
Yeah, that will be funny banter. I think. Yeah. No, that is he's signed, bro. He's signed 100%. Yeah, mad.
There's a couple of pictures floating about of him like this. There's a few more that have been taken that are sort of similar.
Oh, I've not seen it. That's the first one I've just seen it now. Big up Bailey in the chat. Bailey tweeted it. I've seen that. I've not seen any more. Yeah, I'll see if I can find any, but no, there's nothing there, man. Nothing there. Anything else done for you lads on today, or
Marmoush's corners, man?
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Why has he not been taking corners at this football club since we signed him? It's fucking stupid.
Nice De Bruyne taking them, bro. De Bruyne.
Actually, bro, right now, yeah, I'm actually relatively stress-free in the world of Manchester City. Like, we've got top five, like, unless we balls that up. We're in the FA Cup final. The rebuild is going, like, we're going to, like, everything. Our centre-backs are decent. We've got a stable back four. Rodri's coming back. He's going to be back soon. Like, stress levels now are pretty low, yeah? But fucking the corners piss me off, man. Yeah, please. Don't let Kev take the corners, man. Let fucking Marmoush take them. I don't understand why.
Didn't he as well? Banana Silva took that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Since Pep's got back with the misses, even the set pieces have got better.
Yeah, man.
She was our set piece coach.
There you go.
Just let Marmoush take the corners. He whips them in. I remember when I watched that Frankfurt game, Frankfurt watch song, I watched these corners. I was like, yes, finally, we're going to have a good corner. And then Seed don't take them. And Kevin, I'm like, oh my God, what is going on here? How Kev takes the corners is wild. But yeah, that was a good little set piece because he whips it in with pace. I was saying it on the stream.
Yeah, he's got that whip. You can see they took one corner. They put the camera behind him and he took it and you see his body shape. He just whips across it. That's why he's got all them goals, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not one of them. It's not one of them floaty can of corn things, right? To the goalkeeper either.
No, it's a proper ping.
Proper whip it. So all you have to do as the attacker is just get it on target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I was basically saying, right, when Kev takes a corner, yeah, as an attacker, you have two actions. You need to aim the ball at the goal and generate power, right? So two actions. When Marmoush takes the corner, you have one action. Aim the ball at the goal. You don't need to generate the power because the power's on the header. So you're just glancing the ball at the goal, which is what Gavardio did today. He got up there and headed it in the net. So you're doing one. You're putting out
top bins as well if he tried.
Huh?
He couldn't have got that more top bins as well if he tried.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm liking Marmoush, man. I know some people are still a little bit iffy on him, but I think he's going to be a top player for us.
I guess for everyone here and probably all the chat as well, then let's have a prediction. What's a good return of G&A next year from Marmoush? I'm saying 40.
30 minimum.
Bit high.
40 goals.
40 feels a lot.
Yeah, I was going to go 15 goals, 15 assists.
I used to set Mahrez 20 target. That's what I used to say. 20 goals, 20 assists. That was my target.
I think Marmoush pisses that, mate. I'll be honest with you.
I'm with Porky, man. I'm towards the upper end, man. I'm thinking if he plays, are we saying that he's going to be starting pretty much every game?
What's he got now? Has he got probably about 12 now, hasn't he?
I think 40 is legit. For City now, he's on 10.
Yeah, see, I was gonna say 30.
Hypothetically speaking, if we're
I was
going to
gonna say
go out
around
and get
30.
a new winger next season, and we end up getting Verts, where do you see Mamouche playing? Because I don't see him having the same amount of games as what he's had
Yeah,
this season.
well, I know it's a hypothetical question, but I don't think we are going to sign a winger. If we do, then I don't know, but I don't think we are going to sign a winger. I think the winger will be signed in 2026. That's my prediction. I think we'll get that in there. Or maybe as Lou said, maybe we'll go 2 up top. I don't know. But yeah, he's already got 10 in a not fully functioning Manchester City side, but it kind of is because like we are second in the league table.
End of
But
that
obviously,
season, not
still,
even.
yeah, exactly. We're still miles off where we need to be. I think I'm with.
How many has he got now? How many has he got this season in total? He's got 40, hasn't he? Or across, he's probably got 60. I bet he's close to 60, right? Across all season, including Frankfurt.
He's got 27 goals, 17 assists.
So that's almost 45.
I think I'm with Pulpy, man. I'm setting him 40 target.
He's-
Obviously,
you know what?
on the basis that he's going to play.
All season
You
for
know,
us.
he's also a home player, isn't he? He loves playing at home. You can just see him
Yeah.
getting a goal, and has got a goal contribution in every game at home, probably 2. He's just that sort of player.
Mm.
I feel like those stats have been a bit padded, especially this season, because with Haaland's injury. I think if Haaland hadn't have picked up the injury, would he have played as many games as what he has?
I think he did, though, didn't he?
I think
Oh,
he'd still
yeah,
play.
he
And
played
actually,
on the
that
left,
might
he played-
actually open up some for him because we saw when Holland was able to hold the ball up and just play that through
Right, he was
out
playing
to
the
him
runs.
and run on. So that actually might suit him even better. I think personally, I think 40 is a lot, but I think in that 30 range is about where I would. If he gets 30 goals and assists all competitions, I'm feeling really good next year.
Well, I fancy him to be on free kicks and corners all the time, so you're going to get. I reckon
That's
you're getting
fair.
7
That's
free kicks
fair.
out of him and 10 assists from corners and free kicks as well. So
If we
there's
do
half of your goals and stuff right there.
That's a good point.
If we do
Yeah,
get
that's
first next season, can you see us playing a 6 and 2 10s, not 6 8 and a 10?
Yeah, you could do
Yeah,
that.
eventually.
You could do
Especially
that.
when
You
you've got Rodri coming back into the team, you know it's going to be solid.
Yeah, you could 100% do that. You know what I mean? And like this team that with Rodri, you can do that. And sometimes you'll need to do that because if you're playing against a full low block team, for me, you don't need an 8.
No.
So if we got Gibbs White, yeah, like in a bit more of an open game, a bit more of a heavy metal game, yeah, you might want to play Gibbs White. But if you're playing fucking relegation fodder at home, who are going to park the bus on the edge of the box, I'd rather play Foden and Foden and Verts, or Marmouche and Verts, or whoever in there. Like, what's the point in playing?
Or you can play all three. Just play all three of them.
You can play all 3. Yeah.
Although I would argue that Doku is our best player against a low block because he actually takes on his man.
You put Doku on the wing, innit? But in terms of that midfield area, like you wouldn't play. I wouldn't be personally playing Morgan Gibbs White against a low block team.
No.
I'd probably be playing a Foden who could have a shot on there to the box.
But is that kind of if we don't feel we can play Gibbs White against low blocks, and we're going to see low blocks 70% of the time, it's kind of what's the point? Why bring the guy in?
I don't think you are going to see low blocks 70% of the time because you've seen this season in particular, a lot of teams have been a bit more courageous playing against us. So I feel like
at least the top 10 are all going to go, right? They're all having a go now. They're all changed the way they play to have a go. They're not.
Maybe
Yeah.
the top 15.
Yeah.
Well, if
They're
you try
all,
that against a team with Rodri, good fucking luck. It's not going to work just as well.
no. So they probably will get that to low
I
block.
mean, you're going to get that first few months of 17, 18 where we're pinging goals past everyone. And then they're going to clock onto it. It's going to be a bit more difficult, but don't know.
We'll have to find a way, man. I was just about to say that. I think in terms of next season, like I think we're probably going to have our most fluid squad ever in terms of positional stuff. We're going to have your 2 centre backs and Rodri, and they will be the ones that never move, and the rest are just going to be interchangeable. Nunez's, O'Reilly's, Rico's, Gundogan style players. Kovacic, you can move about Foden, Verts, and you're attacking your Marmouche and stuff. It's just going to be players moving everywhere. It's just going to be mad.
I know. I can't wait.
I can see Pep using Echeverri off the left.
Oh, I've already said, Bevo, when Echeverry eventually fucking starts or gets a game, he'll be on the wing.
Yeah.
He'll be on the wing and he'll be shit. And then everyone will go, oh, he's shit. LB, you've been gassing up and he's shit. And I'll be like, he's on the wing. He's not a winger. Yeah, but he's a shit. Just like they did with Cole Palmer. Because this is what the fan base did with Cole Palmer when Pep played Cole Palmer on the left wing. And he was shit because he's not a left winger. Everyone went, he's shit. No, it's because he's not a left winger. I mean, so I've already fucking, I know it's going to happen. I've already accepted it. Yeah. But anyway, we need to buy another one. Get Master Antuono at City, mate, because the guy's fucking fucking LB's Argentina revolution, man. We will fucking be there. You know what I mean?
Just a team full of players with Messi's boots.
Yeah, mate. Honestly, it's not rocket science, is it?
Bringing Darla back. Get that Master Tuono.
It's not just me fucking gassing these players up. You know, Messi's gassing them up, by the way. Yeah, he's fucking giving them all fucking these boots, man. Yeah, go and get that Master Antuono tomorrow. Yeah, stick him on the wing. Yeah, what a player he is, by the way. Yeah, look at his last 2 goals, if you don't believe me. Unbelievable. Yeah, go and who else would I buy? I like Roberto, the striker who done his ACL, injury prone. Get him in. He'd be fucking mint. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they've got a good player. They're going to be fine, man.
Are you off Superbray now?
Oh, Subiabre. No. He doesn't play that much, to be honest.
He didn't get on today, no. But
no,
he didn't get on today.
He didn't get off the bench today. But yeah, he's still a lot younger, man. But yeah, he's a pretty good player as well. And he's called Bray, so like we need to get him at City. just for that.
How old's Kevin Sullivan now? Is he 15, 16 still?
Still 15, I think.
Yeah.
So it's still
because it feels like we signed him years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
He had this really good assist in midweek.
He's not going to be here for
like a KDB defense splitting ball and the striker scored.
And I don't think he can come till he's 18. So
no, he can't.
Yeah, I've seen
wow.
He's going to end up like Freddie Adu, man. He's going to end up like Freddie Adu, whatever he's called.
Don't say that. I hope not.
Yeah,
people just proper gassing him up, and he's only 15. Give him a break.
I mean,
that's always the risk, though. That is always the risk.
Yeah. He is playing first team football.
He's playing first team.
He's playing in some academy.
Freddie Adu did. Freddie Adu was playing first team football at 16, and then
don't
he was
say
playing for
that.
the US team at 16, and then he disappeared at 18.
Oh, pulpit, man. These Americans are putting the hopes of the country on this.
I was going to say, don't do that, man. Come on, we need him.
Mate,
I don't even care, to be honest with you, but
this is our next Clint Dempsey. This is our next Landon Donovan. Don't say that.
Yeah, madness. All right.
So,
big arm.
real quick. So we talked about Palmer. So there was the conversation midweek about maybe he comes back.
Mm.
Are you wanting him back? Would you take him back?
Yeah.
Or are you like that's over and done with?
Yeah. I'll take him back tomorrow. I'll drive all the way down to London, pick him up, drive him all the way back to Manchester.
Okay.
And Pulpy's going to do this thing, right, where he goes, look at Gundogan. No, that's completely different. Yeah, Gundogan was 34 years old. Cole Palmer is what, like 22? And he's a fucking beast. Answer the question, Pulpy.
What? I'm not going there. You know my views on him. Fuck him.
If we couldn't get, but if Birch rejects us and then we have the choice of signing Cole Palmer, you're saying no.
If Birch rejected us, why would Palmer not reject us?
Because he's not German.
But he left because he didn't get played. I don't know.
But Pep Guardiola says to him, mate, you're going to be the guy.
No, I don't want it. No.
See, I personally did not want him to go, and I complained about it, cried about it on our streams. But now that he's gone, I've turned the page, and I think he just needs to stay gone. And that sucks to say because I never wanted him to leave, but it's happened.
The precedent
I also
is there.
feel like as well with certain players that leave, especially in a Pep system, like players either fit a Pep system or they don't. And I'm not saying that he didn't, but I kind of feel like he suits a different system to a Pep system.
Shitter teams, he suits, but shit teams.
No.
It does, man. Right. My final point on this thing. We all saw what Paul Pogba did to United, and the precedent is there. Man United paid 80 million quid for a guy who had a decent season back at Juventus,
and then let him go for free, and then signed him back for 100 million.
No, I'm sorry.
So
Don't
was
never
Pogba
go
good?
back.
So-
Never
so
go
tell
back
me,
anywhere in life.
tell
Don't
me,
do it.
how did Pogba's second stint at United go? Not very well. did
Yeah,
it?
that Pier 28 in the chats put it down perfectly. So Palmer does thrive on chaos, whereas in a Pep system,
Nah.
it's
Very
not,
much
it's
structure.
not chaos.
I don't agree, Bevel. I think he'd be class at City, bro. I do. I think he's fucking mint. I think he's mint.
You know what?
As much as I say no, if he came back, I'd also back the guy until
Of course.
he had a
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah,
I'd be like, I told you
Yeah.
so.
Now
Yeah.
let me say my entire sentence before you jump. I don't think it was a mistake to sell him.
Oh
I do
my God.
think no. I told you let me finish. I do think it was a mistake to not give him a chance. Because if he's not gonna be a main guy, take the 40 million.
45 on it.
45 million.
Yeah, 45.
Rare
bad thing
Danny
was-
L in the chat.
bad thing
That
was
is a
in that-
rare Danny
No,
L.
but why would you keep a player who's not going to play?
No, but he
The
was
bad thing
going
is we
to play.
got bent over, didn't we? We got bent over on not having a
Is he gonna be
buyback
the main
clause.
character? Because he's thrived off of being the main character at Chelsea. He wasn't going to be the guy for us.
Mm.
We
I
should
think
have
he
put a
would've played
buyback
well.
clause in there, and we should have had a sell-on clause in there, and that's the only mistake we made. Other than that, he can sling it.
Yeah, but I think Bob suits the system better than Palmer would.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So LB, would you take Palmer back if it meant you never saw anything out of Bob ever again?
Cool.
Because that's kind of what might happen if you did.
Yeah.
Well, it's
He's
not
gonna-
because Bob can play left wing.
No,
He can play
for
right wing.
the benefit of tape. This is
Yeah, but this is a tape that is just not a thing.
for the benefit of tape. An interview in the police station, mate. Are you saying that if we take Palmer back, you're happy to say never ever see Bob in
Yeah,
the
well, no.
That's
I'm not
what's
answering
going
that
to happen.
question. I'm
You
not
can't get
answering you.
15 players on the pitch.
No, I'm not answering that question
No
because
comment,
that
he said, boys. No comment.
that is nah. Yeah, but there's not even a crime. There's not even a crime.
It's a
that's
crime
been-
getting him back. It's a crime. It doesn't work.
No.
You
Right,
tell
let
me
me
where
ask-
it's worked. You show me where it's worked, where a player has come back and worked. And the fact that you're thinking so hard means it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen a lot though. Does
It
it?
doesn't happen a lot because it doesn't fucking work.
Well,
He's
it's
done.
a very rare
Never go
case that
back.
Pep signs a player back. There's only been, apart from Gundogan coming back to City, there's only been one other time that he's re-signed a player from playing with him before, and that was Thiago when he played with him at Barcelona.
Oh yeah,
And he
yeah.
brought him
That is
into
true.
playing. So it's very rare that Pep goes back on players.
Yeah, here's the
As
other
you should never
photos,
go
by
back.
the way, of the
Yeah, there you go.
of the-
See? What's he doing? Slipping his phone number there? That's dodgy, that, isn't it? There you go. See? There's his best mate. Oh, look at that. See you soon, boss.
I think
Isn't Gibbs White like the godfather to Foden's kids or something?
Yeah,
I
he
think
is.
so,
He is.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I was
That's why
gonna ask
it's
that
about
earlier.
potential. If you bring somebody in who's like, I don't know, people play Football Manager in the last few years. If you bring a player in who's a bit homesick, you bring one of his mates in, sort of thing. It might, if you bring in Gibbs White, it might get the best out of Foden, which we would all love to see.
That's what I was going to ask. Do we think that there's something in just increasing the comfortability or for Phil and just, hey, bringing in
No.
people that just make him feel, and
No.
getting more out of him next year? Because, I mean, again, forgetting the injury piece of it, but is there a
No.
better chance of him getting back to last year?
No,
You already
no,
said
no,
no.
This is a player who's grown up in Stockport, who speaks English, who supported Manchester City his whole life, has been in the academy his whole career. Yeah, it's like you can't then be saying, "Oh, we then need to spend." If that's true, then you've got to then say, "Nah, Foden ain't that guy," because you can't be spending 75 million quid. On a
No,
player.
not that we would do it just to get more out of Phil, but that it's a
contributor factor.
yeah. I mean, the fact
Yeah,
that it will happen. Phil will be better
No,
because he's got this guy around. And
I don't think there's anything in that at all. I don't think there's one
Right,
little
fair
bit of. I just don't think that's a thing, man. You know what I mean? I don't see it, man. If that's a bonus that happens, as a
that's what I'm
result that
saying.
happens,
It's just a bonus.
I don't think that's in. The only reason we should be signing any player at all is because they are good enough to play for Manchester City Football Club. That's it.
Facts.
End. There should be no. Oh, we're only signing him because he's English. No. There should be none of that. It should be, are you good enough to play for Manchester City? Are you going to improve us? If the answer to that is yes, sign. If the answer to that is no, Nah. And
But
that's,
if the answer to that is yes, and he adds extra things on top of that, it's obviously an even bigger bonus.
yeah, of course. But the main thing should be, is he good enough? Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that if we sign Gibbs White, he'll have such a good season that he'll start at the World Cup for England.
What over Bellingham? Right.
It's not
On the left wing.
He
It's
doesn't
not
even-
Left side. I would honestly, I would start after watching Bellingham the other night. Is a disgrace. I would never. He's going to be the problem for England team going forward. He really is. And I think Gibbs White offers more in that role than Bellingham would or anybody else. And I think if Gibbs White is flying in City's team, then I'm telling you now, he'll probably start in the World Cup.
England have made the wrong
but you could
decision.
say the same for anyone. Like if you turned around and said, "Oh, Calvin Phillips, if he came back into the City team and then somehow managed to replace Rodri and had a flyer, then he'd be starting for England." Well, yeah,
Is that your shout, Bevo? Is that what you're saying?
absolutely not. But you could say the same for anybody.
That's what we heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think England have made a mistake there putting Jude as the main guy. I think they should, in my opinion, they should build the team around Foden in the midfield. And if you don't want to build it around Foden, in my opinion, I think then you should build it around Palmer in the midfield, if I'm being completely honest. I think Jude Bellingham...
build it around Bellingham, who's an absolute square peg in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that out of the three players, I think he's the last one that you build a team. But obviously, because of the PR, and he plays for Madrid. That's
his attitude's rotten, man. His attitude, that the other night in that final, when he lost the ball and he's like that and just stood there, and Pedri goes down the end and whacks me in the top corner. Yeah. That right there, for me, that wouldn't happen in City's team. He would never get away with that in City's team. He'll get away with it. He's got Ancelotti to sack, basically, because of that shit attitude all season. That sort of thing gets, you know what I mean? That's the sort of poison you don't want in your team, that attitude and that down in ego. Don't want that. England are going to have it, and that's going to piss me off.
There's a few. Look at Mbappe. Since Mbappe's come in, since Mbappe's come into Real Madrid, PSG have been a far superior team without
get rid of the cancerous attitudes. They get rid of him. They get rid of him out of the squad and let someone else deal with him. And look what gentlemen they brought in, Kvaratskhelia, and got rid of the donkeys that don't do anything and look at them flying. Get rid of the rotten apples, get them out of the squad, let someone else deal with them. Ancelotti's had to cut of it, and he's probably thought, I'm fucking off. I'm going to Brazil. He would have got sacked eventually anyway. And that Real Madrid will suffer for that because they've got 3 absolute dickheads in the squad.
Mm-hmm. I know, and I'm saying it today on the watch line. I think Rodrigo will leave within the next. I don't know if he'll do this year or next year, but I think Rodrigo will leave because he's going to get sick and tired of being the fall guy. Because he's the fall guy every time. Every time he makes a sub, Rodrigo. I'm not. Listen, I'm sort of like chilled a little bit down on the Rodrigo talk here, but he'll end up leaving because he ain't gonna.
Yeah, he's a collateral damage, isn't he? He should be starting that. He should be starting. He's the better footballer on that left hand side than the other two are. But he just won't play because you can't not play your egos. And now Real Madrid.
You think he's better on the left than Vinny?
I think he'd be more. Yeah, I think he might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to say because we've not seen it that much, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think Vinny's a little bit like you can only have one Vinny in the team, and now they've got 2.
I was gonna say
with Mbappe, and I don't think that's going to work. And then you've got Bellingham, who's a little bit like that, different, obviously a different position, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's almost as if they saw what PSG did, saw that did not work, and gone, oh, we'll do that, and now it's not worked. Like, what's going on? Yeah, because it doesn't work. You've got to build a team, and this is why I always say to the people who talk about PSR and Newcastle, when I say let teams spend what they want, and they go, oh yeah, but then Newcastle will buy all the best players and they'll dominate the league for years and years. I'm like, no, they have to build a team. They have to build a team. They won't. Yeah, if they go and buy Mbappe and stuff, that has already been done. That experiment has already been done at PSG. It's been done somewhere else. Chelsea. They spent 1.5 billion quid, and they've not even won fuck all. So but you need money to have sustained success. But having money doesn't guarantee success, as you saw at PSG with their lack of a Champions League. And now look at the players they've got now. They went and picked up João Neves for 60 million. They've got Vitinha. They've got Fabian Ruiz, who, by the way, I said City should sign in somewhere. Fucking brilliant player. Look at their front line. Do you know what I mean? Now they're cooking on gas when they got rid of the 3 best players in the world, or 3 of the best players in the world. That's what it's about, man.
It shows as well that spending money doesn't buy you success. because you've got to spend it right. You look at City, net profit, net spend over the last 5 years. City 191 million. You've got Arsenal, Chelsea, and United, who have spent like 300, 400, 500 million pounds consecutively, more than what City have. And you look at United, 14th, Chelsea, borderline Europa League, and then Arsenal, who come second FC. Like, spending money doesn't guarantee your success because you've got to spend it right.
No, I hear you.
The nice thing about Real Madrid now is they've added another dickhead to the squad as well, and Trent Alexander-Arnold is looking like as well in it. That's just another one.
Yeah.
And you know what? To be fair, they'll probably get over the line domestically. They might win leagues domestically and stuff, but it won't be pretty. And they'll just end up sacking the manager in 18 months again. They're in a shit cycle now with these players.
I don't know, man. I look at Barcelona and they look set for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even decade. Obviously, they need a new striker when Lewandowski leaves in a couple of years. But I'm looking at Barca and I'm thinking they look set. Genuinely, they look set.
Real Madrid will obviously there and thereabouts.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they might win an odd.
They might steal one here and there.
I'm going to go out on a whim, and I reckon Julian Alvarez ends up at Barcelona.
That's a shout,
Maybe.
I can't see him spend. Barcelona ain't got any money for the next decade.
I just don't know where they're getting the money from. I'm with you, Paul.
No, but that's the thing. If he costs 80 million from us, how much is he going to cost to a direct rival?
Well, hang on a minute, because Lewandowski, how long do you reckon he's going to do at Barca now? How many more years? 2?
1, maybe 2.
Probably 1.
So if Alvarez signed, what, a 5-year contract, did he, with Atletico?
There or thereabouts.
So if Barca go for Alvarez in 2-3 years, when Lewandowski leaves, Alvarez might only have a year left on his contract or 2 years. Then that makes that price more, doable, because then
fair enough.
Maybe not now. I'm with Bevel. I think they do go for him, but when Lewandowski goes, and Lewandowski might do good for another year or 2, and then he might bring that price down.
The thing is, Lewandowski, you don't have to work hard, does he? He just has to hang around the penalty area, and the rest of the young kids there are just flying, aren't they?
Yeah, you just put the ball in the back of the net. It's not too dissimilar to what Haaland does. You're there to put the ball in the back of the net. We don't need you dropping deep, linking up the play, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, your job. My job is to get the ball to you in a good area. Your job is to put the ball in the back of the net. Like in his first season, Haaland's first season, bro, people was calling him a tapping merchant. Well, that's what we needed him to do. We needed to put the ball in the back of the net. A goal's a goal. It's worth the same whether you score it from 40 yards or whether you score it from 3 yards. Like, and that's the truth, isn't it? So yeah, I'm with Bevel. I think that could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen for a couple of years. Once Lewandowski leaves and the price comes down, maybe then. But yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. Let me do these chats before we wrap up, boys. Big up to Jason, says, where is that fraud, Luke Shaw or Jacob, whatever his name is? He's on the way back from Wembley, bro. I'll grab him and Steve this week, and we'll get him on the show, man. We'll do something, man.
And Joe, you've got to get Joe on as well.
Yeah, Joe on it. I
need to read their opinions on today.
Yeah, facts. Big up, idiot says, seeing as Barlow isn't here, you guys apparently. What? That's weird, no?
You don't remember from last time?
Finished him, yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah, I do remember that. I went in the comments as well afterwards, man, and it was pretty.
It was all timestamp. It was timestamp. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a madness. And big up to Ash as well. Says, I forgot Jude was even playing versus Barca until I seen him collect his losers medal. Says
you see that clip of the Barca fan doing that to Vinicius Jr.?
No, I've not seen it. No,
he's coming down with his medals, looking around at the crowd and smiling. The guy's looking at the Barca fans like, and he just fucking just blanks and walks off.
Yeah. That tweet that he did, Vinny. Big up, idiot Ash and Jason for the super chats. That tweet that Vinny did, that 10 times thing, bro. That was an L, man. That was an L. Like, you got to back it. If you do that, man, you got to back your chat if you're going to do that.
Just firm it. It can't backfire on you. Just firm it.
Oh, my God. In it. Just turn up to the thing and be like, yo, like, Rodri's a sick player. Fairs, innit? See you later. Get on with it.
If you didn't say anything, I don't think people would be calling him as much.
The thing that I found so weird about it was like, people were acting as if, like, it would be like this generational world-class year that like nobody had ever done anything like that ever. And it was just like, it was just a decent, it was good. Obviously, I'm not saying it was shit, but like, don't. I was like seeing people like saying he'd been robbed and all this. I was like, what?
It was much more of a a conversation around Holland being or not winning in place of Messi than there was this one. This one was who cares? Yeah.
That season from Vinny Jr. last year was no better than the one Marcus Rashford had in his very good best season. And no one was wanking off Rashford for the Ballon d'Or, would he? When he scored 28 goals. You know, I mean, that would.
It's just mad.
I'd arguably say Rashford's season were better that year than Vinny Jr.'s was, barring winning the Champions League.
Yeah, crazy, mate. Fucking mad. Sweet. All right, and lads. Yeah, we'll wrap up now. Big up to you guys, man. Big up to Tariq, man, for jumping on. Yeah, what's your show, bro? Let the people know, innit?
Appreciate it again as always. Thanks to the chat. Really enjoy being on here. Shades of Blue NW on Blue Sky and Twitter. I think YouTube as well. Definitely check us out. We record, so there'll be we'll record typically on Mondays, and then we'll go live on Thursdays for our lit stream. And then we're trying to figure out some new stuff to do. So trying to get LB back on with us. He doesn't know that yet. I haven't asked him yet. So just put in the chat that LB should go back on Shades of Blue, and then put some pressure on him. But yeah, appreciate it, and appreciate the love.
Yeah, big up, man. Bevo, your channel as well, man. That needs to come on.
Over on Not in My Lifetime. Co-host over there with Luke and Alex and Danny and a few others. So yeah, go over and check it out. We've just hit 1K on the road to 2, 3, 4. See where it takes us. But yeah, go over and give us a like and a subscribe.
Yeah, big up Pulpy rattling the mutants on Twitter. The ghouls, as they call them.
Yeah, I'm going to be so busy for the next 2 weeks at work, so I probably won't even do any posts out, mate. So it'll be calm on my end.
Yeah,
sadly.
And big up Danny, man. W streamed before as well. Me and Danny did a watch along of the Super Classical. I didn't even know it was called that until I saw it. Like Super Classical, the Boca Juniors River Plate game.
Yeah, it was a good game. A lot of yellow cards, as you'd expect.
I know, bro. This is the thing, man. It's like I should have fucking slammed some money on that sort, man. Because as soon as that first yellow card went in at 11 minutes, we both knew in it. We both said it's gonna be mad. So yeah, keep check us out, man. I'm gonna do more of those South American streams, chat. You know, I'm gonna watch alongs when the timing's good, and if Danny's free, jump on the streams, man. On the second channel, more LB. But yeah, big up to you guys, didn't it? Oh, big up to Jay. Says Rodri doing what he did as a DM is more impressive. Oh yeah, 100%.
Facts, mate.
Facts, bro. It's facts. Yeah, I'll be back in the morning, 11 a.m. Me and Nobbins are going live, and then I'll see if Hugh's about. I spoke to him today, innit? So I'll see if Hugh's about tomorrow. Don't think there's any watch-alongs tomorrow. I did check before. I didn't see anything that major, so there's probably nothing then. And then it's Champions League, innit? Fucking hell. Oh, yeah, it should be good. A couple of good semi-finals there. So yeah, big up to you guys, innit? Smash the likes on the way out. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Peace.